The film broke box office records in South Korea. It has been called the pinnacle of Korean action films, and the plot twist is even more unexpected. The girl gulped down 2 eggs. Suddenly the little brother on the other side slapped him, in the face of intimidation from men. The girl was frightened and cried, but such a timid girl. When I was a kid alone with hundreds of dogs, but there was no fear with just one chopstick. You took care of all the bad dogs. A mysterious organization is doing this to a girl's brain, genetic modification. To give him more power. In the beginning, girls can refer to their thoughts, change an object into any shape. Someone attacked him with a sword while he was training. A girl can easily neutralize an attack even if she is blindfolded. Girls are getting more and more capable. The top brass is afraid of losing control of them. He asked Dr. Bai, the project leader, to bring the children together. Kill all. Deep in the forest late at night, a little girl covered in blood running through the jungle at the speed of a wolf. Behind them came a group of strong men leading dogs and wolves, but there's still a gap between their speed and that of the little girl. So the little girl ran all night, faint from exhaustion. A nearby farmer adopted him. The girl lost all her memory as a result of her injuries. 10 years later the girl grew up. She has a nice name, May. The girl is very sensible. She would often help her foster father on his farm. Her adopted mother developed Alzheimer's. My health is getting worse day by day. No rich family at all. Add insult to injury. Seeing the financial stress of foster parents, Amy's had a secret she's been afraid to tell. Her head would ache inexplicably. The pain always hurts her heart. All she could do was look up symptoms online. Didn't go to the doctor because the family had no money. But this bestie recommended a talent show to win a $500 million bonus. If you win, it could be used to treat the foster mother. May is playing in the camera, but when I got on stage and opened my voice, it was amazing. The whole family got together on this matter. Happy to watch the Small Beauty performance. I can sing well, but I have to perform. So, Small Beauty on the stage with superpowers to perform magic, made it to the final, but the foster father had a stern look on his face because he already knew who Medea was. Lest he should be exposed and set on fire. And this scene, Dr. Bai, who had been looking for him, found him. He sent for Amy right away on the train. He was approached by Handsome, who also had superpowers, and call a spade and say no. Small Beauty, and give him the name Meng forced the Small Beauty more. Meng forced. He had no idea of the man in front of him, but Xiao Shuai knows him very well. Looks like a girl with amnesia. How could Handsome possibly believe that? To test it, he suddenly slapped it across the face. Mei was scared out of her wits. This time, Xiao Shuai finally believes. A witch who was once so powerful, amnesia, becomes a normal person. Bestie scolded the little Handsome. The people on the train were attracted. Xiao Shuai had to leave temporarily, and when he walked past a car, an uncle accidentally bumped into him. Xiao Shuai's eyes were suddenly cold. The next moment, Xiao Shuai had crushed his gold watch with his bare hands, cover a man's mouth, snapped his neck in an instant. He threw the body on the train like garbage. Just after the game, Beauty's face suddenly became uncomfortable. She hid in the bathroom and covered her head in pain. She was stolen a week ago and her life was over. The only way to stay alive. It's a bone marrow transplant from your biological parents. Can lose the memory of the Small Beauty. How do I find my birth parents? Bestie held the weak little Beauty who knows just went out. A black car pulled up in front of them. A group of men in black got out of the car and tried to take Amy. The two girls were terrified of such a group of men. Then Bestie eyed Disease hand. Quick, stop a taxi. Amy looked back through the window. The crowd was just standing there. Wolf Ring 4 and Beauty is their target. But what they don't know is, true hunters often come in the form of prey. Late at night, Small Beauty headache attack again. Suddenly he heard a noise outside the door. I walked out the door to check on a gun to my head. Not far away is a kidnapped Bestie. The black men of the day reappeared. They call me the devil. May cried that they had mistaken me for someone else. But the other side obviously didn't believe him. He said the scars on his face were his work. Beauty's eyes were full of fear. The man asks Beauty to prove it. The accomplice held the knife to her best friend's neck, trying to hold him hostage. See, Small Beauty does not admit his identity. The man motioned to his companion. The next moment the girl's eyes suddenly changed. He quickly lost control and moved past his opponent's gun. A couple of shots in quick, precise succession. The man hasn't woken up yet. Amy broke his jaw, put him in a chokehold against the wall. Instead of saying it's not him, but he threw a fist at a man. He put a gun to the man's neck. Ask him why he pushes himself. I told you it wasn't him. But the man asks, what is this? Let's just say Amy is a monster. Take scar guy out with one shot. Beauty looked at the blood on her hands. His lips trembled as he approached his girlfriend's. Bestie is afraid of constantly back. Amy herself doesn't know what's going on. Just then the building down a person that is Small Handsome. He asked his girlfriends with a smile, we're going to fight in Shaw. Bestie looking at little Beauty doesn't work. Handsome said that Amy wasn't. The family doing farm work is playing with you. Number 1 in the grade despite never getting an academic record. Why? Because he's the witch who was transformed by the brain. Said Xiao Shuai asked Small Beauty to go back to the headquarters with them. If you don't do it, he killed his foster parents and his best friend. For the safety of those around you and to find out who he is, Beauty had no choice but to comply. Soon Beauty was taken to a laboratory. His hands were tied to a chair. A voice came from the room. It was Dr. White who spoke while in control. He's the one who made Amy. At his command, the man next to him pushed a box. Take out the needle suddenly inserted into the neck of Small Beauty. Then Beautiful's memories began to flow. The injection activated the brain cells in his body, let him run wild with his powers. But I need a shot every other month or you will die. Dr. Bai had the perfect plan in mind, trying to keep Amy under control. And when Amy gets her head around it, the identities of the hunter and the prey are completely switched. No worries at all. Amy's fangs are finally showing. Dr. Bai noticed something was But it was too late, Amy. The equipment in one of the eyes labs is down, the chair was empty by the time his men knew. May teleports behind her, a slap set her against the wall. A man who is also a metahuman, but I can't beat Beauty's one move. Beauty holds a gun in the mirror. She knew Dr. White was behind the mirror. There was no response to a series of shots. He realized that the glass was made in China. Dr. Bai had someone release hypnotic gas to stop him. Amy was gone in the fog the next second. Beauty slowly descends from behind Dr. White, and when he turned around, a gun to his head. Yes, from the beginning to the end, the poetry of Beauty is fake. Ever since Amy knew she was dying, he decided to start searching for Dr. White. But how can you find it? So he went on the show in a different way. Show your powers in the form of magic. When he saw one hot boy after another coming after him, he was 100% sure that Dr. Bai had taken the bait. Now the big picture is settled. May shoots Dr. Bai in the leg, pressed him for the recipe for the potion, and dragged Dr. White to find it. Suddenly a figure appeared. I think of him as a metahuman. Amy flashed behind him. He grabbed him by the scruff of the neck. My grandfather carried this on Ray's back. Then he threw him against the wall. Back home it kills me not enough. Amy backed him into a corner. The backhand is two big mouths. The two struck. Small Beauty kicks him flying more than 10 meters away. He picked up the gun mindfully, one shot in the leg of Dr. White as he tried to escape. He fired off one shot after another right before the handsome move. Little Handsome stepped on the wall to avoid everywhere and put the mind control box in front of him. But he's clearly no match for Amy. The difference between the two sides is too big to win here by 1 point. Finally May got a box of potions. 6 of them walked off the battlefield over bodies. On to the next PLA. Where are the foster parents who took him in? My foster mother's days are numbered in her hospital bed. May left behind 4 potions. And tell your foster father that it will cure your foster mother. Even though May has been performing. But the feelings for both couples were real, and May kept 2 for herself. That's 2 months to live. At the end of the Small Beauty to see the White Doctor's sister, it turns out that she is May's real mother. As soon as her bone marrow goes to Amy, Beauty's disease can be cured. So what's the fate of this witch? Amy was gone in the fog the next second. Beauty slowly descends from behind Dr. White, and when he turned around, a gun to his head. Yes, from the beginning to the end, the poetry of Beauty is fake. Ever since Amy knew she was dying, he decided to start searching for Dr. White. But how can you find it? So he went on the show in a different way.